We had about 20 minutes before the tide turned against us. A raft held together with rope and hope, and an island in the distance that suddenly felt a lot farther away than it looked. If this doesn't work, we're sleeping in the ocean tonight. But to explain how we got here, we have to go back 6 days, to the moment our boat trip turned into something we did not sign up for. It started as a normal weekend trip. Me, Fenn, and Rio out on the water, no plan beyond catching a few fish and heading back before dark. Then the sky changed its mind about that. The storm came in fast. 1 second we're arguing about who forgot the sunscreen. The next we're bailing water out of a boat that's taking on more than we can throw out.
Sticky, I don't think we're getting back tonight.
We lost the engine, lost most of our gear over the side, and by the time the waves let us go, we had no idea where we were. Just water in every direction until we saw land. We made it to shore. The boat did not. What was left of it was basically driftwood at that point, which it turns out would matter a lot later. Day 1, priority 1, figure out if this island was going to kill us before we figured out how to leave it.
No signal, no other boats, no signs anyone's been here in a while. Cool, cool, cool. Love that for us.
No fresh water source nearby, which meant our first real problem wasn't a raft. It was survival, starting today. We built a basic shelter first, just enough to keep the sun off during the day and keep something from crawling on us at night. And almost immediately, the island reminded us we weren't the only ones living here.
Why are there so many crabs, and why do they look like they're judging me? They're territorial. Just don't step near their burrows. Backing away slowly. Noted. Extremely noted.
By the end of day 1, we had shelter, no water plan yet, and a very clear understanding that this wasn't a short stay unless we made it one. That night, we made the call. We weren't waiting for rescue. We were building our own way out, because here's the thing. From our beach, on a clear day, you could just barely see another island on the horizon. Too far to swim, not too far to sail if we could build something that floated. Day 2 started with a scavenger hunt, except the prize was anything that could turn into boat parts. Turns out storms are good for one thing. They wash a lot of junk on shore. And on a beach like this, junk is basically a hardware store.
If we can find a couple of sealed barrels, we can use those for flotation. That's basically a free hull.
We split up to cover more ground. Fenn took the north end of the beach, Rio checked the reef line, and I went into the tree line to cut down reeds for the frame. The jungle had its own problems, mainly bugs. But an hour in, I heard Fenn yelling from down the beach. And it wasn't a bug scream, it was an excited one.
Barrel! I found a barrel! It's sealed, it's huge, let's go!
1 barrel down. We needed at least 3 more to have enough flotation for all of us plus supplies. By day 3, we had our materials laid out and it was time to actually start building, which sounds simple. It was not simple. Rio sketched out a basic design, 2 barrels on each side for flotation, a reed frame lashed across the top, and a platform we could actually stand and sit on. The lashings were the hard part. 1 bad knot and the whole thing falls apart the second a wave hits it.
Struggling with a knot. Why is rope so mad at me today? You're overthinking it. Over, under, pull tight. Over, under, pull tight. I hate that this is working.
We fell into a rhythm. Rio on knots, Fenn on hauling anything heavy, me keeping track of what we still needed, and more importantly, filming all of it so future me could actually believe this happened. Day 4, we hit our first real setback. A joint we'd spent hours on gave out the second we put weight on it.
Okay, that's the second time today. Because we keep rushing the wrap. It has to be tighter.
So we slowed down, redid the joints, tested each one by standing on it before moving to the next. By the end of day 4, we had something that actually looked like a raft, not just a pile of stuff tied together. Day 5, we needed a sail. Without it, we were paddling the entire distance by hand, and none of us had the arms for that. We found a torn tarp from the wreck earlier and stitched it into something sail-shaped using strips of rope as thread. It was ugly. It also worked.
It's not pretty.
We also carved a couple of rough paddles from flat pieces of driftwood for when the wind wasn't doing its job. By that evening, the raft was floating in the shallows, holding weight, and most importantly, not falling apart. We named it, because obviously we named it.
The Splinter! Because that's what we're all gonna get from this thing!
1 more day of checks and packing supplies, and then it was time to actually use it. Day 6. Rio had been watching the tides all week, and this was the window. Current pulling out toward the second island. Wind mostly in our favor. If we missed this window, we'd be waiting days for the next one. So there was no version of today where we didn't launch.
Once we're past the reef, there's no turning back, right? Basically, yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Cool. Let's go.
The first stretch was smooth. The current was doing most of the work, and for about 20 minutes, it actually felt easy. Then the wind died completely, which meant the sail was now just decoration, and paddling was the only option.
Steady pace, don't burn out early. We've got hours left. My arms disagree with that plan already.
2 hours in, we were maybe a third of the way there. Slower than we hoped, but moving. That's when Rio spotted something on the map we'd sketched from the beach the day before. A long stretch of shallow reef sitting directly between us and the island.
If we hit that reef at the wrong angle, we could tear the hull open.
We adjusted course to skirt around the reef's edge, which cost us time but kept the raft in one piece, which at this point felt more important than being fast. By hour 4, the wind picked back up, but so did the cloud. What had been a clear sky that morning was turning gray fast.
Please tell me that's not what I think it is. It's exactly what you think it is.
We weren't going to outrun a storm on a raft made of trash and good intentions. So the plan changed from get there comfortably to get there before that hits. The final stretch. The island was close now. Close enough to make out trees, not close enough to relax. The wind that had been helping us was now working against us, pushing the raft sideways every time we tried to hold a straight line.
We're drifting south. We need to correct now, or we're gonna miss it completely. Everyone paddle right side now.
We threw everything we had into it. Every stroke mattered. We'd come too far to get pushed past the one thing we'd been working toward for 6 days. Then we hit it. The reef edge. Closer to shore than we expected and shallower than the raft could handle.
Then we don't push through it. We get off and pull it barely.
So that's what we did. Jumped off the raft into chest-deep water and physically walked it the rest of the way, hauling it by rope through the last stretch of reef. It was slow. It was exhausting. And with the storm finally catching up to us, it was also the only option left. Every step forward, the current tried to pull us back. But for the first time in 6 days, we weren't just building something, we were finishing it. We made it onto the beach right as the storm broke fully overhead. Soaked, wrecked, and honestly not sure if we were laughing or crying at that point. Possibly both.
We actually did it! We actually built a raft out of trash and survived the ocean. Barely.
Barely counts. We didn't know yet if this island had a way home either. That's a story for next time. But for 6 days, all we wanted was solid ground that wasn't the island we started on. And we got it. If there's one thing this trip taught us, it's that impossible mostly just means nobody's tried hard enough yet. See you in the next one.